Welcome back to FACEIT TV. We are going into ECS NA once again. We're here with our second map, which will be Dust 2. And, well, Team Liquid, they pretty much stomped through NRG on the first map.
No, they did. I mean, Liquid looked incredibly strong. I mean, it was their map choice. It was Nuke as well. And like we always say, I mean, Nuke is one where it's kind of, if you play it, then you pick it. If you don't play it, then normally you just ban it.
Yeah.
And most teams, they do decide just to ban it. But, so thank you as well for bearing with us through the little delay that we did have there. I think there were a few server issues, which made it take a little bit longer than we thought. But, so cheers for all of you for sticking through with that. I mean, the more people we have watching, the more money we get to have a hairstylist eventually come in and sort mine and yours lives out.
So they're going to cut some off you and glue it to my head or something along those lines.
We'll figure it out. It's for another day.
That's basically how this works. That's how hair works.
That's the plan at least. But, so the knife round, I think, is underway on the server right now. But I mean, Dust 2 is kind of anyone's game as we head into it. NRG, they were looking okay, and I hope that if they fix some of their issues,
of course, then it's 14-1.
Yeah, okay, that's true.
We've seen some interesting games today, of course. Still waiting to see whether or not that will be the case here. As said, I think tabseN pretty good at this map in general. I'm waiting to see whether or not that will follow through for NRG. But as said, they've won this recently versus Liquid. Maybe they can have the same sort of standpoint. The only problem is, if you look towards the team at the moment, you have sort of players that, well, were sort of in-game leading, I suppose. Nitro had just came out in that game, was just basically running around, headshotting people, doing whatever he wanted. Hiko was still just on the board as always, and it seemed like they were having a relatively easy time with cleaning things up, even on the T side. And then they switch over, and it almost gets even easier. They're onto that CT side, everything just goes their way, and when it comes down to it, it's a dominating performance, 16-6 on Nuke.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was incredibly dominant from beginning till end. And well, hopefully Dust 2 is going to be a bit of a different story, as we should be hopping into that any second now. The pistol round is about to be underway, and we're going to be having NRG over on the T side, Liquid starting on the CT side, as we head into the first round now of Dust 2.
Yeah, of course, quite a bit of utility coming in for the T side at the moment, so maybe going to go for somewhat of an Xbox smoke or try and take long with smokes, which can be an opportunity. Now, the CT side, they've gone straight for some aggression, straight through the B tunnels, all the way through, and they're going to find out so much information about the push. Now, in terms of their A hold, there isn't too much at the moment. There's only one player actually on the site. That will be spotting, and of course, that will be Hiko. So in terms of info, they have plenty. In terms of positions, not so much. And that's where we need to see somewhat of a spot coming out from Hiko relatively soon. But EliGE, well, he's the man for the job. He's going all the way around the back. Should be finding out every single piece of information they need to know. They'll know that there's nobody on short. They're going to clear every single angle. And eventually, it's going to be quite clear to see, okay, it's going to be long.
Yeah, thanks to the aggression early on through EliGE making his way up through mid. Is now going to be coming in from behind, and it is going to just narrow it down. You can already see they're rotating everyone else in off of that B site. Nitro going to be doing work, finds 2 frags. It's FugLy as well to find 2 of his own, but EliGE from long and going to mop things up, takes down 1, and then Hiko in with a double kill at the end to mop that one up. Liquid, they take the first round on the board in a very commandeering fashion, only losing 2 players there in that site take.
Yeah, the amount of info they were able to find, that's sort of the problem of not having anybody lurking around. Like, that's sort of the value of the lurker, I suppose, in many a case, that if somebody does go that aggressive, at least you know. They didn't know that they were being surrounded up until the very last second where the pounce comes in, and at that point it's almost, do we keep pushing into Hiko or do we turn around? And then everything's lost. Like, you have to just hit the instant headshots to get out of that position. Now, in terms of this buy, they've not gone for armor, but they have got a hell of a lot of nades. GodB and LEGIJA just playing with those Molotovs in the second round, which is not something that's very common.
Yeah, no, not at all, especially when you do forego the pistol early on. I mean, buying up the utility is obviously a priority. I mean, sacrificing armor just to go for the extra Molotov. It's curious to see what it is they're going to be trying to employ with that. It's looking like it's going to be a short take, using the Molotovs, of course, to push people out from behind the boxes on this site. But I mean, as they fall on back and looking like they want to head down in towards mid, maybe it might be telling a bit of a different story.
Yeah, I'm definitely intrigued. Of course, it does give them positions to move players off the site and maybe goose, so it could just be another possibility to try and get a bomb plant and play it from there. But it definitely seems like a lot of investment, and as said, if it's not used, it will be very annoying. I think that's clear to say, but I definitely want to see what they do. And it actually is going to be, they're going to clear the site, they'll clear out ramp as well. This will give them a good opportunity to actually push onto the site itself. In terms of long control, they're looking to take it back, but Pete is still doing the damage as he finds himself the first kill of the round. Pimp is there to quickly trade, and in terms of the plant, they will get it. So that's something to play around now for the T side. Of course, there's no armor on anybody who remains, and that means Hiko and Nitro, they can spray away, make themselves the money. Peter still grabbing kills, though. He's picked up a Dayik and now an M4 even, so definitely some potential here. Has to pre-fire Pimp and almost has to pray that he hits this first shot. Doesn't want to give anything away and needs to try and take back this long position, otherwise the round is all but done, but he does. And Godby in the meantime has found another. This is getting way too close, and Godby's going to win it. The round actually pays off. The Molotovs, the nades, well, there you go. And mainly, I think Peter pays off.
Yeah, no, definitely so. I mean, NRG, they're going to be taking the second round back out from underneath Liquid. The question is, what went wrong there for Liquid, really? I mean, they had everything, every sort of advantage they needed going into that round. NRG barely had armor across the team. You had a little bit of utility for them to try and play around with, but that was really it. So what went wrong for the side of Liquid there?
I think Peter just single-handedly taking long.
Yeah.
Sort of went a little bit wrong, and the actual strategy to clear out the site to get the bomb down was quite nice as well. Either way, T's will start things off. EliGE is quickly there to trade, and Nitro's actually got another one. The missed smoke will give a possibility to actually find stuff through it, and there goes JDM peeking in with the pistol, and while maybe things are about to cross straight back over, the dual UMP is back to try and save this round for the T side. Pushing out Godby, should be getting a freebie, and will do. There's still a couple of players left to deal with, and the bomb plant, never mind. Hiko dunks him down. The Kobe comes out and leaves Peter to try and challenge. Will find the first. It's all down to Hiko, the Clutch Meister, versus Peter, the winner of the last round. And while Peter not going to be able to do it, Hiko with the double. And Liquid, they may have lost the last, but they bounced straight back.
Yeah, but Hiko hungry for revenge, as previously he did go down, of course, being the man in the 1 versus 2, comes back there and manages to lock in the second round on the board for Liquid. So they do come back from that one. And as a result, we're going to be seeing NRG force buying up once again. It's just going to be force buys back to back till one team wins 2 in a row and forces the other out onto an eco.
And in terms of the buy, it's actually not too bad for either team. You still want to give that advantage over to the CTs. They have some utility to play with, and that's the main factor that is a little bit limited, but I suppose the T's still have themselves a couple of Molotovs and other avenues to actually bring something into this round. So maybe there's not too much of a problem. I do think it's definitely still possible. LEGIJA just had some moments with the Dayik and tabseN as well. Of course, they do have 3 pistol players, which is something that isn't really the case. There's 2 rifles, 1 extra onto that CT side. And in terms of their positions, they're setting up quite nicely to almost give the short-range weapons a decent chance, while the advantage still lies with the longer range.
Yeah, but it's looking like mid to B is going to be on the cards here. Hiko's going to be the one to try and stand between it. Finds 2. Going to be looking for the third as Peter goes out for the pick as well. Does do some damage off the back of the scout. LEGIJA, meanwhile, lurking in towards this A site with the Deagle. Might be able to find 1 out of JDM. Takes him down. Peter in mid as well. Takes down Hiko. So now it's all on Pimp. It's been suddenly put into 2 versus 1. Well, Pimp, he knows where both these players are. Going to worry about that bomb, though. It is going to be ticking down. Peter's here with the M4 in sight. Up close to the smoker. Takes him down. So now it's going to be a 2-2 scoreline. As NRG, they take a second round on the board. Once again, very back and forth thus far.
Yeah, well, nice little pick there. Of course, Peter doing a lot of damage. Hiko seemingly brings it back, and then everything just falls apart from there as Pimp, while he tries to dive through the smoke, doesn't have any head armor and is quickly lost to the round. Now, of course, Liquid, they're not done just yet. They're going to buy back up, but in the meantime, there was also a rifle saved, and there's now 3 rifles. It says we're slowly adding 1 each time to the team that then wins the round. So T-side definitely coming back with a better buy. And in terms of what's left for the CTs to play with, of course, they don't have the luxury of getting a bomb plant like the Ts do. So there's no bonus money. It's just straight on that loss bonus. And, well, JDM, he's going to be dropped a scout from Pimp, so that's something to play with. But other than that, it is just straight pistols once again.
Yeah, because of how much more expensive it is to buy on the side of the CTs and the lack of the bomb plant money. It is in the war of attrition, the T side will win every time if they keep going back and forth like this. But NRG trying to make their way up short now. tabseN and going to be both here to try and start this off. It is going to be EliGE tagging some damage out on a tabseN and then falling back in towards CT. It's going to give control of short, however, up to NRG and allow them to potentially split out on towards this A site.
Yeah, again, Still waiting to see which of the teams will come out on top. In terms of map control, the T's haven't actually managed to take too much, and with only 40 seconds left on the clock, we do have to wait for them to pounce. Now, the longer they sort of take, the more likely they are to just having to force the issue, and that always plays into the hands of the Pistols when they have to rush. Now, a late smoke coming out from Nitro, that will be very detrimental to what the T's can actually offer, and here we go. He's going to slow them down with only 25 seconds left. They have to go through it, and that will be perfect for the CT side, lining them up and knocking them down. It's Nitro and Hiko. The bomb is lost as well, as Peter is left with just tabseN to help him.
Yeah, Peter actually tried jumping through the smoke there to pick the bomb up, but couldn't get close enough to it, and as a result, there's not enough time left for NRG to make their way back into this round. Nitro's trying to go aggressive to take the guns out of the hands of NRG. tabseN goes for the spray, actually just signals his position as he misses the bullets, and it's looking like Liquid want to try and find this frag potentially, but ultimately they don't. It's going to be 2 rifles still up on the side of NRG. Now this is kind of interesting because despite the fact Liquid win that round then, it does mean now that NRG are going to have a much more formidable buy coming up into this 4. So they've got the AK, they've got an M4, and then we're only seeing a scout and then a few PT-50s in play as well. So they are going to have rifles and utility on the cards. And Liquid, on the other hand, not going to be faring too well. I mean, you have got the AK, you've got an M4, but then 2 scouts and a UMP.
It's a very similar buy, actually. Like, there's not too many differences for the T and CT side, except for the fact that there are pistols in play on the other side. But a dual scout, it's not normally the best way to go about things unless you are literally tagging players down. So, yeah, still a great opportunity for NRG to continue to break this one back. Of course, that round, really that came down to Nitro with that late smoke. Holding on to that utility right until the very depths was absolutely wonderful, and it is really good to see just that utility being held for so long. If you don't need to use it, sometimes it is better to hold on to it. So, T-side, they are going to make their way towards short. Of course, the Goose position currently being held by EliGE, and he's one of the rifle players, so he could peek out, especially with JDM almost baiting them in, like, come on, you've taken me down, if that is the case. And then, well, you go towards this sort of M4, and the more tags he gets, the worse thing gets. Already finds the first kill.
Yeah, can find that first one out on the leg. You're going to keep the aggression going. Takes down Peter as well, keeps it up, and over in the corner, EliGE finally is going to fall. He does get 1 frag out of tabseN, but that's going to be it. Just a 1 and done. Pimp making his way up to the site with the UMP. Finds one, finds the second as well. Gobe's going to fall, and that's going to be Liquid picking up round number 4, and most importantly, winning 2 in a row.
Yeah, that's it.
Resetting the economy of NRG.
You mentioned this earlier, and it is always that case. It's if you have these backwards and forwards rounds, eventually the team that wins 2 in a row is going to be the one that comes out on top in the next couple. Of course, still a few pistols to play with for NRG, but not anything crazy, to say the least. And JDM, well, we know he wants the AWP eventually, so he's going to try and make some money with the MP7.
Yeah, and well, this is the place to do it in towards low as picks up a frag. EliGE is there to save his life as well, and Pimp actually does the damage for NRG, finds him off the back of that nade, takes down his own teammate. EliGE though putting in work to try and make up for his teammates' incompetence. That finds 1 frag. He's going to get taken out there by FugLy. He tries to make his way down mid to recover this rifle. It's not looking good. He goes over to take him down and prevent him from being able to scavenge any sort of weapon into the next round.
Yeah, and they do save the other rifle as well, which is important for the economy of Liquid. They can build up a little bit of extra cash. JDM will get that AWP in play, and in terms of money, well, both teams, at least for this round, are going to be pretty secure even. Peter, he does have a glass cannon op, so we'll be able to take that battle towards mid, but it doesn't look like JDM is willing to challenge, not at least in this standpoint. And with 2 players towards long, it's going to be a brawl. And while FugLy, he entries, finds the first, can't get the second. EliGE is quickly there to trade and actually grabs tabseN as well, so the man advantage falls into the hands of Liquid, leaving only a few players left. But LEGIJA, he's got himself a decent position, able to get in behind, finds one onto EliGE, and well, now we're back to a 3v3, but look at the map control that's been taken by Liquid. They've gone all the way out long, Nitro going round the back, and Hiko still holding in tunnels.
Yep, the guys on B going aggressive does allow LEGIJA to make his way out mid, and LEGIJA lands a nice shot on a Nitro, then one onto Hiko as well. It's 3 frags right now for him as he continues this aggression in mid. The shot from mid all the way up into T-spawn was honestly insane. JDM's going to be the last player left alive for Liquid. He tries to make his way out, and they walk right past LEGIJA, who completes it for the 4K. What a round from him. Just a key player in cementing that 3rd round on the board for NRG.
Yeah, I don't know where that just came from. LEGIJA going absolutely ham on the Liquid side of things, and in terms of how that round started, it didn't look like they were going to be able to bring that back. It was needed, to say the least, and well, now it is just flat rifles on the board for Liquid. They've lost the versatility of JDM and that AWP. And well, by the looks of it, they're going to go rushing in towards the B site. Lots of players coming their way. They got shut down before by Nitro, and it looks like they're being shut down again. This combo of Nitro and Hiko is going to be way too much for NRG, and they tried to turn up the pace, they turn up the heat, and well, they get kicked out of the kitchen.
Yeah, Peter, meanwhile, the master beta of his team, stuck in the T-spawn. Baiting out his teammates on towards the B site, does take down Pimp, but that's going to be all he gets for his troubles, as everyone else is kind of dead. And now he's left in a situation where he's 1 versus 4, has to try and hold on to the AWP. And, well, it's just not a very good scenario for him to be in right now.
Yeah, to say the least. He's got a minute left on the clock to try and survive. There's no real reason for the CTs to push, of course. Their economy isn't safe yet. They've had to buy back into this one after losing the last, and, well, a lot of that came off a big play from LEGIJA. Now, going into this round, they went very aggressive towards B and got shut down, so Peter, really, he has to make the decision of, is he really going to challenge this one, or is he just going to go and save? And it looks like he is clearing a lot of angles, possibly trying to hope for an exit frag or someone to fall into his lap and just hand him the bomb. It's not going to be happening, at least at this point. And while Hiko, after a very good start at the moment, 13-3.
Yeah, no, he's been playing phenomenally well. Also, Nitro, just the B-hold as a whole. Those two players have been synergizing extremely well. tabseN. And what is it? The tabseN, 1 frag, 2 assists, and then 8 deaths.
We're sort of hyping him up going into this Dust 2, and he hasn't prevailed so far. So maybe he will not be the avenue of this team, at least. Peter has been doing well with the AWP, and well, LEGIJA bringing them around on the board was definitely helpful. Of course, in terms of full buys, we haven't seen too many just yet, but in terms of tabseN being brought over as that extra firepower, I do think he needs to step up if they're going to have a chance of winning this one. And Liquid, well, they'll get themselves to 6. In terms of the T economy, it isn't anything too crazy. And, well, this is sort of the second time they've been shut down going towards B. This time it was much earlier in the round, and they did try and catch the CTs off guard, but maybe that's not the right avenue to take, at least just in a straight-up rush B. Most of the time you have at least a split.
Yeah, no, definitely so. I mean, they've just been full-on committing to it, almost the matchmaking kind of style of sending everyone in through tunnels.
Don't stop.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't say the last word that they said.
It hasn't been working out. Peter, this round, does find one on the back of the AWP out in towards mid, takes down EliGE at the crossroads, and well, you can already see JDM now having to try and rotate through to pick up the slack. Whereas Peter finds a second as well on a Pimp who goes aggressive out long, and at this point this A site has been completely shut down. JDM has to try full back, and it's relegated out towards this long angle. As NRG, they take full advantage of the open A site and make their way up short.
Yeah, they're going to get their bomb plant again, and we've already seen them do it with the pistols before over towards the site. JDM will be waiting outside. LEGIJA doesn't really have a reason to push. They have control. If they give up long, then there is actually a very viable way for the round to go back into the hands of Liquid. And in terms of Liquid as well, I think it's more likely that they might actually just be worthy to save this one. JDM will push out. He now knows there's no reason for him to actually challenge. He does have the opportunity, but, well, it's too far gone. The rest of his team have left, and he's just going to do the same.
Yes, that round being entirely down to Peter with the AWP, picks up 2 huge frags and allows NRG to make their way out of the site. Interestingly enough, Liquid being so far away don't decide to go for that one. They do have the kits, they have the utility. They're up against almost entirely ecoing team. But I mean, you know, I guess they did have the man disadvantage. They were so far away on the rotate, and with Peter landing the shots like that and being, you know, so embedded within the site, being in a decent post-plant position, I guess they just didn't want to risk going for it, risk hurting the economy more than they needed to.
Well, there's 2 ways you can look at this. Either they think that they misread the economy completely, and because the only thing they saw was the AWP.
Yeah, exactly. That's
so
the other.
That's the only thing they saw. Or they just realized that, okay, these guys are on an eco, let's just not give them a load of weaponry. Either way, I feel like in terms of Liquid just not throwing everything into the blender and trying to retake when you didn't have very good positions, like they had no cat control at all. So all they had was either going through CT and long, and JDM took so long to isolate the player out holding towards long doors that the value of long just had lost all its purpose. They'd run out of time. So I think it was the right decision to make, and they can come back with a decent buy into this round, a little bit lacking in utility where the Ts have loads, but other than that, they still have a pretty good buy.
Yeah, it's not going to be too bad on the side of Liquid, like you say. Pretty much everything they would need. A whole bunch of flashes, 2 smoke grenades left as well, and an incendiary on the back of JDM. I nearly said JWV. I flipped the M upside down in my head and then also read the V out. So
and
yeah,
removed
JDM.
the D.
Yeah, I just removed everything. I don't know.
You don't want the D.
I caught dyslexia for a couple of seconds, I think. But I actually think I have that. I have the number version. But yeah, anyway, it's 4-6 currently, 2 rounds between these two teams. And while FugLy looking to try and make his way out mid, there is going to be a EliGE waiting for him here in CT spawn, though, primed and ready to try and open up this frag for Liquid. While Peter in towards this B site, he's had a lot of success finding the frags on the back of this AWP, and well, let's hope that this is no different. JDM, meanwhile, in towards this A site, watching out for the lurk player in the form of tabseN. He's going to hop down into CT, does find that frag on EliGE, but Nitro's there to trade things back. LEGIJA, meanwhile, finds Hiko out towards the B site, and that's going to open it up. Nitro, who is momentarily down in mid just for a couple of seconds, as a result, is going to leave that B site completely open, and NRG, they are out and exploiting that frag.
Yeah, it does take them a little bit of time to get the bomb down, so there is an opportunity for the CT side to try and get back into this one, but Peter holding the angle. They do have a flashbang. They're not actually going to utilize it. They're going to save it for the next attack. And well, unfortunately, that's never going to come as Peter finishes off both 2 kills overall. And well, nice round from NRG. And a lot of that did come down to positioning. It seemed like Hiko was completely isolated in this very position here. Perfect replay timing there from production as it is sort of that point where he's in that corner. Yes, it's normally good for a kill, which he doesn't get either way, but Nitro had gone down to mid. You sort of named it at the time that the timing there just wasn't really there, and it left that site completely open.
Yeah, and unfortunately so as well. This round, Liquid are going to be on the back foot having a Hiko. Peter still going huge with that AWP, finds one into EliGE in mid. Well, the trade couldn't come through in the form of JDM. He just had to fall on back. Didn't want to be facing off against the AWP with only a P250 in hand. As a result, we do see mid handed over the way of NRG. JDM rotating back in from short through CT, now trying to spot it out from that smoke in mid. Not able to find anything on the back of it just yet, though. NRG taking this round very passively indeed.
Yeah, they don't want to give anything away. Of course, tabseN very, very low on HP at the moment. Will actually grab a kill, but quickly trade it out, and that may give an opportunity for a rifle. It doesn't look like it's been retrieved, and the peek from JDM is going to be lost as well. Hiko and Pimp, the only 2 players left alive. Peter is holding the angle, and Pimp decides that that is not a fight he's willing to take. The smoke is going to be a friend to Hiko, at least for a second or 2, but the second it fades, LEGIJA should have this kill in the bag. Of course, we know the CZ can be very valuable. I think LEGIJA has a good idea that Hiko is behind that smoke, and they will finish things off. Only losing 1 player, not anything too costly for the T side, and in terms of their money, they're starting to build up quite a bank.
Yeah, no, definitely so. And the like you said, on the side of NRG, I mean, you got $6,000 on the back of Peter, 7,000 on the back of Gobi as well. So an incredible amount of money being built up. Liquid, on the other hand, still a bit on the back foot. I mean, you've got Hiko, who's relegated himself down to the mag 7. Bit of an interesting vibe. He has been playing up close on B, so it does kind of make sense. It will come in handy, these closer ranges. And well, NRG, they actually send LEGIJA and Peter both here straight off the bat. So potentially he might be able to open up with some elite mag 7 friends.
Just gonna let that sit just for a moment. Just let elite mag 7 frags. I'm disappointed you didn't say elite swag 7. Then it would have been complete as one of the worst phrases ever uttered in a cast. But at the same time, you are correct. Hiko going to try and make this shotgun work. In terms of the push, quite a bit of control again being taken by the T side. They've managed to get themselves pit, which can actually leave a player quite isolated, so maybe not the right decision from FugLy. JDM, especially with the AWP, may be able to just pick that head straight off, but actually they don't expect him to be there. He will peek out, grabs 2 before JDM's able to trade, and well, that's very successful at the moment. Gobi has to be careful, but he completely blinds JDM, enabling him to cross. Smoke will be thrown out to try and get some control back, but other than that, well, CTs aren't really into this round. They're so far away that B rotation is eventually going to come out, but it's a mag 7, and JDM, I think he'll be lost by the time they get anywhere near.
Yeah, it's a 2-on-4 in the retake right now. Bomb isn't down just yet. They're trying to make their way up short. If they can find one here on a Peter, which they can, that's going to be bomb dropped. So now it's a 2-on-3, and this is a lot closer than it needed to be. LEGIJA in mid, though, comes in through the doors and finds both the frags. And Nitro and Hiko both going to be biting the bullet there and going down. And it was looking so promising for Liquid. They had their 2 star players left alive, but LEGIJA, he was not going to let them get out of that alive. Takes them both down and secures the round on the board for NRG. What a spectacle.
Yeah, that's the second time that he's brought home a round that could have easily slipped out of their fingers, but stepping up again, and important rounds that are coming in at the moment. They're now on to 7 and taking the lead in this game after what was a fairly dominant start from Liquid after the sort of backwards and forwards rounds that came in. Well, LEGIJA now on that secondary orb will be finding the first pick. Of course, there's still 2 players over towards this B side, but he's got no reason to push. He has an AWP, and that isn't the sort of way that you play this AWP, especially when there's so much time left on the clock.
Yeah, no, definitely not. LEGIJA this time trying to start his own legacy with the AWP in hand, trying to show that he is just as good as Peter on the team. Slowly trying to find some frags in towards this B site. Everyone from NRG making their way over there. JDM and Hiko, they're both waiting close to the door, ready and raring to go. As NRG trying to make their way on the site. JDM playing up close, finds one, going to go for the second one. It's going to get taken down. LEGIJA opens up with the CZ, finds two of his own, showing that he's the better player with the pistols. Takes them both down. EliGE coming in from behind is able to get one on a FugLy, but that's going to be it for the time being. Peter now watching the angle with the AWP in hand, and that's going to be terrifying if you are EliGE to try and peek around that corner. Pimp, meanwhile, making his way up through mid, is going to be trying to face off against tabseN, who's playing over in towards the win. If he can find a frag here to try and start things off, would leave an all-right scenario, but tabseN peeks him, the timing going his way, and takes him down. EliGE, meanwhile, just trying to save the AK-47. He was able to scavenge in the tunnels.
Yeah, he will just fall back. The money will be pretty good, in fact, because they do have a maximum loss bonus going into the final round, 3,400 added in, so even his death wouldn't be too problematic, and Peter's just going to pre-fire the shot. 8 rounds now on the board for NRG, and, well, as said, what started very nicely for Liquid has slowly fallen apart.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's exactly true. I mean, it's a little bit of a repeat of what we've seen in some other games lately, where it's like, you know, the team that's more favored starts off well, and now NRG, they're starting to kind of have this resurgence down there, 2 rounds ahead. They had the auto sniper down mid. JD was at a 5-1, but it's going to get traded out by LEGIJA, showing that he could AWP just as well as anyone else. Puts it back into a 4-on-4. Got B trying to go aggressive up on towards short. It's going to get naded down low just a little bit, and EliGE goes for the spray, takes him down. Puts it into a 3-on-4, but NRG still committed to this short play by the looks of things. Send tabseN and FugLy both up into this position, potentially to try and refrag onto EliGE.
And Pimp, well, he's had a lot of trouble towards long so far. Does have an opportunity to change that, but doesn't bite the bullet with the smoke fading. Nice flash, but it only catches one player, and, well, the peak will come out from Nitro in the meantime, managing to get one. LEGIJA is still surviving, just in the corner at the moment, and, well, spamming off AWP shots eventually will be finished off, leaving just tabseN to face in a 1 versus 3. Bomb is dropped. He's got a minute to play with, and, well, an awful lot that he has to do. Oh, he actually catches Nitro with that.
Yeah, he's got a lot of players left to find. Like you say, it's not going to be in a very ideal situation. With 45 seconds left, he has got plenty of time to try and make his mind up. Pimp's going to get tagged down low, finds the first on a Nitro, and this could be the start of it here as he takes down one of the 3 players he needs to find. Hiko playing things passively, just trying to watch the bomb from long doors with the AWP in hand. tabseN still biding his time, only 30 seconds left, trying to go sooner rather than later. That smoke's going to cover the approach, and as a result, should allow him to grab the bomb. Molotov going to be heading out on towards the corner at blue. Not going to find anyone, obviously, as we do know that they've rotated around into CT and short. Pimp's going to be watching the angle. tabseN is going to try and make it across, but with no smoke to cover that, is going to get taken down in the process. It's going to go 8-7. It's NRG. They do manage to win it out with a 1-round advantage.
Yeah, and well, considering how this started, it was looking very backwards and forwards, but just the 5 rounds in the middle for NRG that sort of, well, basically ruined it for Liquid in terms of their CT half. Overall, it's not too bad, and the winner of the pistol will get a nice bolster and actually taking the lead, or likely to, if they can get the follow-up rounds as well. Either way, we are looking to see who will actually take this pistol down. And again, it's quite a bit of utility coming in for Liquid. Got B the only one with anything on their side of things, a couple of flashbangs, and of course, they have themselves the kit.
Yeah, but well, it's Pimp to find the first out on EliGE. The trade frag does come in, though, as FugLy takes him down in return to try and solve their problem here. Puts it back into a 4-on-4. Everyone else for Liquid over towards this long angle. Looking like they're going to be making their way out towards A. The rotate coming in very prematurely from NRG in towards this B site, and that's because Peter's pushed all the way up mid. He's got so much information. As a result, they know it's going to be the A site here. Flash goes out, and what a devastating flash indeed. It hits everyone. Gobi just raining the utility down. There's going to be a second one, and that's allowing everyone to go for these peaks. Peter in from behind. Chiming in. I thought he was going to get the frags a bit quicker. It was weirdly anticlimactic because he missed a lot.
This is the exact same pistol we saw in the first half.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say.
100% identical. That is just really, really weird. The only difference was that Liquid should have known this was coming. They had the player over towards B as just a hold-off point, and Pimp should have been able to say, okay, they're probably going to try and surround you, and they just didn't seem to take anything into account. They went for the exact same play that their opposition did in the first half and didn't even learn from, haha, we punished them the last time, maybe they'll try the same thing. Nope, didn't seem to take that into account, and NRG are going to get themselves the pistol, and Well, no bomb plant. It will be JDM saving pretty much all the money he can. Nitro, and well, actually, most of the players don't have any armor. It's only Hiko with anything to play with in terms of body armor.
Yeah, Peter in towards his ace. Going to be the player responsible for watching that cross. Was going to be able to spot someone out, but does smoke it off, and as a result, twists Liquid's hand. So as a result, they're going to be trying to make their way back through mid. And, well, they do find a little bit of damage, but Nitro's going to be 3 HP. He's going to be the player to try and take the duel in mid. tabseN here, up on top of the boxes in CT spawn, just ready. The second he sees his little arm poke around the corner, I imagine he's going to take it clean off, because that's just the kind of animal that tabseN is. But actually, Nitro now opting to fall on back, a good choice. Going to rendezvous with the rest of his team in towards the tunnels as they look to be making their way in towards this B site. They leave EliGE out towards long to try and play the lurk role. Ultimately, it's not going to lead to too much, but it does mean tabseN kind of falls back in a CT a little bit more instead of being nearer this B site. The nade from LEGIJA, though, is such a good read. It's going to take down Nitro and just decimate the push when it comes in. They are so low before they even get out onto the site. There's the spray. LEGIJA finds 3, and now it's all on EliGE, and he's going to go down as well.
That nade was so brutal. It just did an absolutely ridiculous amount of damage there to the whole team. Ends one player, and I think that may have been a 200, maybe even more damage nade, getting close to 3. That was ridiculous stuff and really nice timing. Now going back into this round, well, not too much brought up in the last, and even less brought up into this one for Liquid. They are saving for that next round buy, and well, of course, a kill or 2 or maybe a bomb plant will be the most value that they're going to be able to get.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, they are going to be just you know, with their Glocks out, trying to make their way around. But going to be making his way into that B site. Chimes in with 1 on the back of the UMP, but it's FugLy coming up huge, gets 2 frags, and got beat with the finisher on the back of the USP to secure an 11th round on the board for NRG.
Yeah, they've got themselves that sort of clean economy game, and well, you can see they're actually going to go for a bit of a bonus in this round. Now, in terms of how much money they actually have, it is a little bit risky, especially when they've invested the AWP into this round, but if they can pull it off, it will definitely be a great boost going into their CT side. The T's, they've got that up onto JDM. He saved everything he could, put everything into his piggy bank, and he's got that AWP in hand.
Yeah, I mean, the AWP's on both sides right now. You got 1 on the back of JDM, and then Pierre as well. And Pierre's been such a key player for the side of NRG with that. It's interesting to see what he can bring on the board on the CT side now. And we'll already found that frag earlier on. FugLy as well, now chiming in 1 of his own on the back of the UMP, swaps it out for the AK, just decides to reload it. It's going to get shot in the process as Nitro finds him. Puts it back into a 3-on-3. They managed to grab control along for their troubles as well. Peter and tabseN here to try and hold this one down, but the push from LEGIJA in towards tunnels elsewhere does, of course, mean he's got all the information he needs. They know that they're going to be inbound in towards this A site. Nitro and EliGE, the last 2 players left alive for Liquid, slowly but surely trying to probe into this A site.
Yeah, they've got a lot of work to do, however. 50-odd seconds left on the clock, and they will be able to get this bomb planted. It does have a little bit of an avenue for long, but most of it will be trying to hold it off from the site. And there's still another Molotov coming in for LEGIJA that can be thrown straight back onto the site, and if this is utilized correctly, it could be quite nice. The only problem is he actually is going from long, where the Molotov definitely isn't the most viable. Peter jumping up and down. Well, maybe should try that with the AWP. We've seen how effective it can be. Nitro will be the one to grab the first, and well, LEGIJA finds 1. It's all down to the 1 versus 1. Peter, he doesn't have himself a kit, so has to try and find one before he can really do anything. And Nitro, I think he's won this round. It doesn't really matter what happens from here on out. It's going to be the spray down. It looks like Peter just wants to take him with him.
Yeah, I don't know what. Just go, oh, there we go. Nice little Glock shot to finish it off, but he's going to die in the explosion anyway. So yeah, it's going to be the 11th round on the board at the end of that. Sorry, what am I on about? It's going to be the 8th round on the board for Liquid and 11 for NRG currently. 3 rounds between these 2 teams. As Nitro's just able to clutch that one out there. Sadly didn't get the knife frag, but does pick it up with a Glock anyway. Liquid hopefully trying to continue this winning streak forward a little bit more as they head into this now. They're going to have a fairly ideal buy though, despite taking the victory there, as everyone did get killed, including Nitro, in the explosion. So it's going to be 2 UMPs, a Galil, and 2 AKs on the cards, with a double op set up on the side of NRG, and then 3 rifles to reinforce the sites.
Yeah, in terms of the buy, well, it's definitely favoring NRG. There's no doubt about that. Going for a little bit of aggression onto short at the moment. tabseN is being supported by FugLy, so neither of the AWP is actually taking that aggressive point. It is going to be the static AWP, the passive AWP, onto LEGIJA on B. He will literally just sit there and try and rattle off shots if anybody tries to get towards that B site. In terms of utility, while there's definitely limited amounts onto Liquid, and how they're actually going to go about this is where things get a little bit interesting. tabseN with the nade. Doesn't do quite as much as what his teammate LEGIJA had done, but gets a little bit of a nip onto JDM, and well, we wait to see whether or not they can actually do something with this round. They're still just waiting around, haven't really achieved too much. Again, they have a player into pit, but the long range is definitely going to be favoring this double AWP setup, and although neither of them are actually over towards the site, they're both towards B, which actually could form a problem. If there is some sort of early push, it could be problematic, but they're not going in that direction, so maybe dodged a bullet a little bit, NRG. They'll get that long range battle, they'll get that attack coming onto the A site, and with 25 seconds, Liquid have to move.
Yeah, the flashes from Gubby once again going to be completely slowing down the play, denying the push immediately as everyone over towards Long is going to get slowing down. Peter finds one on the cross onto EliGE. Hiko in mid, trying to play that lurker, will get taken down by FugLy, and while the kill's very much going the way of NRG right now, it's all going to fall into Nitro. 1 versus 5, he does get the plant. I'm going to spot out a frag onto Gubby, potentially, as he tries hopping on up. I think there's so many players right now trying to go for this frag. Well, it's going to be Peter to cement that one and secure a 12th round on the board for NRG.
Other than the bomb plant there, I don't think things could have gone much worse for Liquid. They lose every single player in the last round, and then they lose a round to a flawless CT round. They don't take anybody with them. Literally, the bomb plant is the only positive from that round, and the fact that they actually get onto the site itself, that they got cleaned up so very easily. And, well, NRG are going to be laughing at the fact that now they've reset that economy getting into the latter stages of this map. Pistols, well, mainly just Glocks and a couple of P250s. One flashbang at least for Hiko, but nothing really to rave about. And they're going to go running in, and while the nades will be the ones doing the damage already, FugLy starts things off. They will manage 1 kill. JDM adding 1 to his tally at least, but it is not looking good at the moment for Liquid. And, well, maybe getting an extra frag might help them a smidge.
Yep, they're trying to make their way up short with the bomb in tow, with 3 players here for NRG to try and hold this down. It's not going to be looking good. Now opting to double on back. Probably going to be trying to get in towards the B side with a lot of aggression. Yeah, they spot out LEGIJA in mid. Can't pick up the frag there. It's looking like Pimp wants to try and go for it. Does go for the assault with the P250. Hiko, meanwhile, backing him up. Tries to set up the crossfire while it comes into effect. Pimp's able to find that frag out of Godby. As a result, they've got to worry about tabseN coming in from behind. He's going to fall as well. tabseN's chance to pad his stats a bit. It's going to go unutilized there as he gets taken down. It's going to be a 2-on-2 now with Peter, the last player, in towards this A site with the AWP in hand. A less than ideal weapon to have in this situation, and that's what both remaining members of NRG have.
Yeah, they have to pretty much hit their shots. Of course, Peter has been probably the best player in the server so far. But he needs to continue it in this point. You don't want to give Liquid a round they don't really deserve. And well, there you go, Pimp. He deserves it for sure. 3 kills from him, finally stepping up. He's been probably one of the quietest players so far in this game, but he stepped up here, and it's all down to LEGIJA. Been very, very good so far. Him and Peter definitely taking that landmark title of best players in the server at the moment, but he's got to try and challenge this one back, and it looks like he may just be going to save the AWP.
Yeah, well, I mean, the economy on the side of NRG is something that you really have to look at in this situation. $1,750 up on LEGIJA, $1,650 up on Peter, so they can't buy the AWP next round. They will be able to get a buy together if LEGIJA can hold on to this, which he's going to go unchallenged, so he will be able to. So it is actually a smart move to go for this one. In spite of the fact that LEGIJA has been playing well, it doesn't make sense to risk it, because if he did go down, you know, hands over a weapon to them, gives them the round win anyway, and then would also guarantee an eco round here for NRG, whereas because they have that AWP up, they can muster together a buy.
How did it go from a 4v2 to a round win for Liquid? That was just no sense. And Pimp, well, as said, he's made his way onto the scoreboard in a big way, giving Liquid a bit more of a lifeline. Of course, well, it is just going to be the AWP. They're actually not investing fully into this one. They want to try and save for the next round, or at least save something. I'm not sure how their economy is actually going to look overall. It's probably not anything too special, really. And yeah, they may be able to get a buy in the next round, but it is surprising that they haven't actually forced around this AWP, giving Liquid an opportunity. Of course, Peter, as said, been phenomenal so far, hitting these AWP picks, and maybe, just maybe, he can bring them around out of nothing.
Yeah, well, I mean, he would be the player to do it, him or LEGIJA. LEGIJA does have the Deagle and a good bit of utility as well at the end of this round. He's going to get tagged down early on in mid, can't find anything off the back of the aggression coming out from Liquid. And they do get the information as to the whereabouts of the AWP player for NRG. You can already see Liquid, they send 3 players up towards tunnels. They also have, I believe that's JDM, making his way back through T-Spawn and rendezvous with the rest of them. leaving Hiko up on short to play somewhat of a lurk role.
Yeah, Molotov should go down from LEGIJA, but it's a little bit delayed, so this push is going to be coming in, raining fire down onto him. He has the Dayik, and while they're all lining up together, standing in a huddle, but it doesn't really help that Deagle shot. It's not going to connect, and, well, at least for Peter, the save has to be almost definite. There's no real value for him fighting this one back. They're in a 5 versus 4. They have nothing left to play with, and he has an AWP, which he probably won't be able to afford going into the next round.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, when you look at the economy, they definitely won't be able to afford it going into the next round. You got $3,500 up on GodB, which, you know, potentially could get it if he won a glass cannon if they lose this one. But yeah, holding on to the AWP in this scenario is the best outcome they could hope for. Also, keeping the armor up on tabseN would be ideal because he doesn't have to rebuy the head armor. Same for GodB as well, even though he's tagged. They are going to get against AKs. But as Hiko goes aggressive, he's going to find FugLy and GodB in the process. So now it's all tabseN and Peter. Suddenly, this 4-man save has been turned into a 2-man save as Hiko just goes huge on those ecoing players and pads his stats a little bit.
Why?
Oh, no, then they lose the AWP at the end and LEGIJE finds that. Peter, why did you get caught out? Why didn't you just go and, you know, burrow into a little hole somewhere like a mammal hibernating in the winter? It's not going to be the case as they lose the AWP and a pause is going to be called underway, which I can almost guarantee at this point would probably be from a... Oh god, now I've really put my foot in it. I was gonna say NRG, but I don't know. We're gonna have to wait for some confirmation as to who the pause is, because now Is
it painful sitting on that fence?
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, it actually is incredibly so. But yeah, no. So a pause is currently underway. This is gonna give both teams a good opportunity
they will actually get the AWP. They've just got enough. GodB with the 650 enables him to get some Kevlar release, and then somebody will have to drop him over a rifle. So they've just about skimped enough to get the AWP, and it is the tactical for NRG.
I did it. I did it. I got it right.
Well, sort of. After a big little like huffle about it, just going, oh, I don't know which one it is.
I said no. Okay. Well, anyway, regardless, it's going to go 12-2, and NRG they're going to be trying to figure out how to be buying up into this round here. It's an extremely crucial round because, of course, if they lose it, it's going to go 12-11. Their economy will be reset. EliGE, they'll have a chance to equalize things at a 12-12 scoreline, and you know, most importantly, their economy is going to be booming at that point. Already, it's looking fairly strong. Despite only winning the last 2 in a row, they've had 7 out of the 10 players survive on the last 2 rounds and had a bomb plant in both rounds. So that's $1,600 bonus money, as well as only having to do 3 rebuys.
Yeah, this is getting to a point of no return for either side. Of course, if EliGE are sort of to lose the next couple of rounds, then maybe there's an opportunity. Well, of course, NRG are getting close, so yeah, it wouldn't matter. Of course, if NRG are then to lose this round, that's when things get a little bit more interesting, and we could be seeing a 12-12 standpoint before they get another buy on the board. And well, then EliGE getting their momentum rolling, we know what this team can do.
Yeah, currently EliGE trying to probe out towards long. Hiko's here with the AK in hand, and might be able to spot one out. FugLy takes his head off, and as a result, it's going to win them control of the long area. You can already see that they're not going to be looking to capitalize on it just yet. Instead, focusing their attention on mid, leaving Hiko out towards long, potentially to start this split on towards the A site. Peter has to be the linchpin in this round. Going to go for the shot, but doesn't find anything off the back of it. Now, rotating on up, trying to compensate for the lack of aim previously. He's able to find 1 frag, gets tagged a little bit, trying to make his way into CT, but Pimp and Nitro, meanwhile, pick up 2 frags between them. It's a 2-1-4 with LEGIJA and Peter both trying to retake this A site.
Very aggressive push from LEGIJA, though. He's managed to get himself 1 back into the round, looking for the second, but JDM is there to trade. He has his trusty AWP in hand once more, and, well, Peter, it looks like he wants to keep his. That's the bigger problem now. They looking like they're about to lose their economy once again. Pimp will spot out Peter, and although EliGE don't want to take too much damage, they do have the money that they can afford to lose a player or 2 trying to get rid of this AWP.
Yeah, they want to try and take it out of his hands. Well, Hiko's just
about
the
survived.
peak for days. It's going to get tagged, not going to get taken down, though, much to the demise of Peter. And he's going to be trying to save this. Hiko, though, still aggressive and going on the hunt. Keeps pushing, won't let up, just relentlessly bullying Peter. Of course, Hiko is you know, much bigger and stronger in real life. Probably could do some serious damage there. A little bit of bullying. Who knows? I mean, Maybe that's a personal issue. But yeah, it's gonna go 12-11 as Liquid, they pick up an 11th round on the board. Once again, they get the bomb plant and 3 players stay alive into that. So they're gonna have so much money on the side of Liquid. NRG, on the other hand, the economy has been reset. It is their worst case scenario right now. And, well, they need to try and come back from this. They do have the AWP up on Peter as the only silver lining into this one. But with 1 round between them and Liquid, it is going to be incredibly close.
Yeah, Peter, they're going to have to ask a lot of him here. He needs to go big in this round once again and pretty much needs to, well, just drag them through this round or at least do a lot of damage onto Liquid because they're starting to get quite a decent economy. tabseN, of course, not too much to play with. We'll be pushing up mid to try and find at least some information. The smoke should leave a gap, and well, that could be a bit of a problem when looking at Peter. If he can rotate in and find that gap, not actually going to be able to find too much with it. And well, now already FugLy managing 1, actually still on the side, just crouch, gets a second as the bomb goes down. And it is looking like a little bit of damage coming out from the CT side. Now, Peter, he has this AWP. The value of him losing this is probably not as high as the chance of him actually winning, but he will get himself another frag and goes to rotate back away, looking for EliGE, who's now possibly ready to be taken down as well.
Yeah, does have the AWP in hand, trying to spot out the frag onto EliGE, but at least he already grabbed 3, and he'd love the 4th if Peter were to give it to him, but Peter's just going to be opting to fall on back, once again saving this AWP, and it seems to be that that's kind of been his legacy so far. I mean, I believe on like the last 3 rounds, he's tried to save the AWP and take it through, and once again, he's doing it again. This AWP has seen a lot of combat, to say that. Well, has it really? I mean, it's been saved a lot. It's kind of seen the opposite.
He lost it that one round.
It's seen a lot of his own teammates die horrifically at the hand of Liquid. Can't guarantee how much fighting it's seen recently, but yeah, no, I mean, it has been saved a hell of a lot. It's going to go 12-12 though as things get equalized out. And Liquid, well, they're going to bring it back into a rather favorable situation for them.
Yeah, it will be aggressive from EliGE. He goes straight out long. He has some support as well, to try and get out long. There's a lot of presence there, and well, tabseN looked like he was waiting for a flash. That flash was so late to actually pop out, and that just leads him to his death. tabseN waiting for that, and it doesn't help him out at all, leaving Peter to try and defend. He does catch 1. As you said, he sees the death of many, and at least brings 1 back.
Yeah, look at this play from LEGIJA. They're going to be going aggressive through T-Spawn, gets 1 on it. He's going to be looking for the second as well. JDM falls looking for a 3rd, and EliGE finally trades it back. But still a 2-for-1 trade in favor of NRG is all it takes to equalize things back out into a 2-on-2. And as Nitro pushes out mid, able to take down GodB in the process. Peter trying to trade things on through. Peter goes out, but it's going to get taken down. Switches it up to the 5-7, but still gets taken down nonetheless. The AWP still carried on through, though. Still going to be seeing a lot of action as it goes 12-13. And Liquid, they take the 1-round advantage over NRG.
Yeah, that's going to give them a big boost as well in terms of what can actually come back for the CT side. They are going to invest into this one, and it is a bit of a risky buy. They've got the Deagle onto FugLy and GodB back on that Mag 7. Currently pushing out. He's gone all the way into lower tunnel, so he is going to find out quite a bit of information. The problem is the T's, they've gone back to just pushing out long now. It is Peter. He has his AWP, and I don't know if he spotted them. They've actually gone quite far past now. There's nobody holding the cross, and oh, will they actually spot this out? Both players surely must have noticed now. Eventually Peter will pounce, and he finds Pimp, and that was way too many P's.
Yeah, that sounded like a bit of a tongue twister. Peter will pounce and he pounds Pimp. Yeah, that was good. Okay, I'll give you that. That was a nice bit of
unintentional, but
let's
just roll with it.
Yeah, it's going to be a 4-on-5 now as Pimp does fall early on. They're trying to make their progress down in towards mid, but got beat in lower tunnels with the Mag 7. It's going to be trying to throw a spanner in the works. Finds 1 out on a Nitro, still alive and kicking, but the EliGE is there to put the hurt on him. Takes him down. LEGIJA as well, going to be going aggressive back through T-Spawn again. Finds 1 through Suicide, but then it's going to get traded out by Hiko. As it goes into a 2-on-3, the 1-man advantage still maintained by NRG, but the B site is going to be completely foregone.
Yeah, and that's the big problem at the moment. Retaking the B site is difficult enough. Yes, they have a man advantage, but they don't have any utility. The only real thing that they have that could help them out is the kid onto Peter, giving them a little bit of extra time. Of course, FugLy, well, he can sort of risk this one, try and take a very aggressive peek. He has the Dayik. Hiko is low, so maybe even just a shot to the chest or even a little bit lower might actually help him out. And, well, it looks like they're about to all push in from a similar angle, just come in all from one position, and this could work very nicely for the T side. Of course, one player actually on site, and EliGE is going to get smoked out. Nice little smoke popping in. That's going to mean EliGE has to go back through. Sprays down the second. It's actually going to come down just to Peter. He's going straight for the defuse, and he's just going to get it. EliGE, that was a huge effort, but it's not quite enough.
Yeah, that was absolutely insane at the end there. Peter just sticking the defuse, and he's literally able to get it by the skin of his teeth. And as a result, that round is just going to be locked away on NRG's belt, just barely. They do, however, manage to lose everyone in the process, so the economy, the buy-in of this round for NRG is going to be less than ideal. You've got a UMP up on LEGIJA, a Mag7 up on GodB, and FAMAS up on tabseN as well. Not too much utility across the board, but kind of everything they would need to try and hold back any sort of play that Liquid are going to be making. FugLy gets boosted up on towards short to try and reinforce GodB. tabseN, sorry, who's here with the FAMAS. But it's not going to be coming in handy, as it looks like Liquid, once again, dedicated to taking the long angles over at long.
Yeah, they are going to take the long-range duels, of course, and the way that the CT side are playing at the moment, very passively. You have to remember, they lost a lot of players in the last round. And, well, in fact, they lost all their players in the last round. So the Ts definitely have a good chance to actually reset their economy completely. And, well, that could lead to the end of the game with Liquid just about coming out on top. It's been a very close matchup so far. And only one of these teams can get those 3 points. And of course, Liquid won the first in a pretty dominant fashion. The last time they played Dust 2, NRG was able to take this over the line. But let's see what you're going to do it this time.
Yeah, they're trying to make their way down mid. Once again, that nade's going to find good damage on a FugLy in towards short. Flash does go out. It's going to allow the piece to come into fruition. And while Pimp finds the first, going to be looking for the second. Nitro takes down FugLy. LEGIJA coming in behind with that UMP, putting it to work, does take down one. Nitro's there to trade things back, and he's still very much a threat. Flash going to make his way through, but he hides in the smoke, using GodB's own smoke against him to take him down. Now it's a 1v1, 1 versus 4, and he's stuck between a rock and a Hiko place. He gets taken down, and it's going to go 13-14 in favor of Liquid.
Yeah, that is a pretty brutal way to get reset as well. It will be a nice spray coming out to finish things off, and well, you look towards LEGIJA. He did his best, but it's not quite enough to actually get them around. Now, in terms of what they have left, they're fighting back with next to nothing. A little bit of an early pick will be attempted by Hiko, but he's actually going to swap out that AWP for a rifle once more.
Yeah, currently for the side of Liquid, 3 players once again in towards the tunnels. Trying to make their way towards B slowly but surely, and well, with only GodB here to try and hold this one back. Would be to their advantage as well. They're only rotating LEGIJA in with that scout. Smoke is not going to be delaying the push that much more. Currently, Liquid not looking too sure as to whether or not this is what they're going to be committing to. They rotate EliGE down in through mid to see if he can find anything off the back of this play, but it is looking like B is the site on the cards here. Haven't got a lot of information as to where NRG are, and well, as JDM gets tagged by the scout, LEGIJA able to find some good damage, and that's going to help delay the push this much more. GodB's going to push aggressive through the smoke, and is actually going to be able to hopefully find one frag. Never mind, Hiko just hopping around like some sort of, I don't know, mythical rabbit or frog, alternatively. And, well, LEGIJA, meanwhile, with the scout from mid, trying to wreak some havoc. Ever since the jumping update, not as effective, but still effective nonetheless.
Still pretty effective. He manages to do so much damage, and FugLy from behind gets 2, and it's finished by tabseN. They save themselves right at the depths of this one, and it's another round for NRG, 14-14. We're going all the way to 30 rounds at least.
Yeah, no, definitely. So it's going to be going the full distance, I don't know.
The marathon.
Yeah, there we go. Something like that. It's going to be round number 29, 14-14. Like you say, we're all tied up. It's all to play for at this point, and well, JDM down mid, can't quite find the tag. Going to be seeing an aggressive stance over towards long. FugLy trying to make his way up towards long doors. Hiko is going to be there, poised and ready to counteract any aggression if that is what NRG decide to serve up for breakfast today. Ooh. Peter, they're going to land the tag out onto Nitro. He was trying to AWP through those long doors. Is sadly going to be coming off the worst off in that engagement. And now looking at it, Liquid are going to be devoting all their forces instead in towards mid, with the exception of Hiko and Pimp, as they're left to watch long and upper tunnels, respectively.
Yeah, smoke will be thrown out. Still letting them know that there is some presence over towards that B side. Nice dunk onto EliGE. He's now down very low as well, and the HP for Liquid at this point is actually getting to be quite a detriment. Peter, with the AWP back in hand, is definitely something to take into consideration. He has had a great performance so far, and well, him and LEGIJA definitely having a decent round overall. A lot of damage, so many low players at the moment for this Liquid side, and well, they've got to deal with Peter. Flashbang will be popped, and Peter looking for more, grabs himself the second, looking for a third, trying to get it onto Pimp, and well, he's just not taking the bait, grabs himself that kill as well, as tabseN is there to help out. Well, EliGE, 18 HP, it's looking like match point is going to be going over to NRG.
Yeah, but still as an AK, still as a dream burning alive inside of it. Peter, he's the one to crush that dream horrifically, as he does secure match point on the cards for NRG currently. 28 frags on Peter, 28 frags on LEGIJA as well, 22 on FugLy. These three have been the core power trio of NRG, very much carrying the side through. I mean, tabseN only on 12 and GodB on 10. Very quiet game from those two. And well, now we're approaching what could very well be the last round of the game. So we're going to be heading into this. 4 rifles up for Liquid and a Tech 9 on Pimp.
Yeah, it does leave them with a little bit of a problem, of course. GodB is on the SMG hype and trying to make himself money, which isn't really valuable at this stage. It is more just to the fact that he doesn't actually have enough money to buy up a rifle. Double ops will remain though, and well, the two players holding them are both just a matter of moments away from hitting 30 bombs, so impressive shows from both of them. Liquid, well, they want to get this one back to overtime, try and challenge this overall. Peter will fade away, doesn't manage to find the shot. This has happened before, and they've pounced, but this time, no, Liquid, they're playing this one passively, waiting for Hiko to have some presence towards long, and in terms of the rest of the team, they're just sticking around mid, looking for some sort of entry.
Yeah, I mean, leaving Hiko towards long has worked brilliantly in the past. It's allowed them to split out on towards the long angle. FugLy playing behind the doors. It's an angle that is normally checked, but you might want to pick up 1 or 2 frags off the back of it, potentially, especially with Peter being here on the corner to bait out the players. So he has got the AWP in hand. The flashes are going to be landing in favor of Liquid. Going to find that first, though, and this is where it could all go horribly wrong. And FugLy's positioning as well. Peter's able to get 2. They have to spot out. FugLy do take... No, they don't even take him down. Hiko's going to get taken down. The FugLy finds a second as well. That shouldn't have happened. The trade should have been there. Now it's all on EliGE. 1 versus 4, and he's got so much work to do and not enough utility or time to do it in.
Yeah, it's looking like both halves will be scraped through a little bit of a mid position and sort of a run of rounds that works out for NRG. And it's happened once and it's happened again. They are going to be taking Dust 2 away from Liquid. And this was sort of the point that we were mentioning. We were saying that this should have been the map that they're able to take. This should have been the match that they were able to get both wins in. And this is what we have the problem with when we talk about Liquid and online games. They seem to almost have a good start. They get themselves rolling a little bit, and then it just fell apart for them. And while the last few rounds, I think in the first half as well, all went to the NRG side, and it happens towards the end as well. It sort of was so close all the way through, but eventually they scrape it. And really, the players we highlighted before weren't the ones that were actually to stand up. Like Peter, yes, was highlighted, but LEGIJA, we did not expect him to go that ham.
No, not at all. I mean, it was just the Peter... LEGIJA and to a certain extent, yeah, a little bit of FugLy in there as well. tabseN and GodB were pretty absent. Hardly saw much from them. I mean,
I was surprised by tabseN,
yeah.
actually.
But yeah, I mean, ultimately they did come out on top. It was a very, very exciting match indeed. 16-14, much closer than we would have expected. And well, that is going to be that one over and done with. So we will be taking a quick ad break, and then we'll be right back.